We are out of the gates on Sports State and ready to go. It is Hutton and Withrow on a Thursday morning. Glad you're with us here on the Sports State Network. We are streaming live on YouTube at Hutton and Withrow and across the social media platforms. Day number 2 for SportsState.com and for Hutton and Withrow making it official. Chad, it was a great debut. From top to bottom, day one was awesome, and it wrapped up late last night whenever we were looking at the social media following from day one, where we started zero as a company, and it was humbling to see that the amount of listeners and viewers that jumped in.
And we are over 24,000 followers on the X account for Sport and State. That is way less than 24 hours because I think that account was formed actually after our show went off air live yesterday.
Oh, is that right?
I'm invigorated with the response. I'm almost as invigorated
Okay.
as I am by this Crockett coffee.
That's right.
That
Yes.
I'm sipping this morning. I mean, you want to talk about energizing. The amount of text and the amount of interaction that we had throughout the day, just incredible. And it goes back to what we said to open yesterday's show. Everybody likes to be there during the harvest season, right? Clay harvested $95 million at one point when he sold his company. That's a hell of a harvest.
It was a great yield.
But Clay wrote it, and he said it well in his introductory column at Sport and State. It's different when you want to be there in the planting season. And we have met plenty of coaches who they like the build better than trying to sustain.
Yep.
Right? This
Right.
is all about building. Yesterday was day one. Here we are in day two. But if the response to day one is any indication of how this thing is going to go, it's going to go gangbusters because it was an incredible response. And we thank everyone out there, the audience, for following, for watching the show, for chiming in. I mean, I'm already in the chat right now and people are saying good morning and welcoming us. Please, we're going to interact on the chat on YouTube throughout. What a great day one, and it's only going to be a better day two. And we hope to get a little bit better each and every day as part of this planting season.
Hey, and I think from a first day, we need to give a shout out to our staff. This is you and I have said this privately. We need to say this out loud. Like the staff that Clay has assembled for day one purposes is outstanding. We really like our group.
We really do. I mean, Jacob Lutz, we mentioned yesterday, has been great throughout. We had JT on with us, who's going to be our producer for this show at the end of yesterday's show. Yes, I mean, in terms of day one, and I don't want to look. I also don't want to pump these guys up too much, right? Like,
They need to hear it. Yeah,
I feel like it's
hard.
kind of like Marine boot camp too. Like they're kind of treating us like that, a little bit standoffish in the morning when we log in at 6:30. Not really wanting to dive all in either.
Sluggish.
We're feeling each other out. But I will say, I want them to mute their own computers right now as they produce this show. But I want the audience to know they're doing a hell of a job.
Say it.
They're doing a great job. Believe it.
They are.
Believe it. They're doing a really good job. And to get this thing set up, and I know especially Jacob Lutz, who's working on every show on the network and everything else going on, it's a lot to make sure that you're up and running and everything looks good. And Hutton, I think you said it yesterday, in terms of day one that we've been a part of multiple times now over our career together.
Yeah.
This was the best and smoothest day one. I've got a nice rich mahogany table here in front of me that I'm knocking on right now. Best day one, highest bar we've ever set in terms of production for day one. So great job to Mark, great job to Jacob, great job to JT, everybody associated with that, with our show, and great job to Clay for hiring some really good people.
And great job with this is just great to be great, right? We're just giving out the accolades now. Wonderful job with Next Round Live. Just caught their show. On Tilt with Kelly, Ariel, and Joe. Well done for show number one. We keep it going. We're just getting started. Here's to day two, shall we? A lot to come over the next couple of hours here. We're live 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern right here on the Sports State Network with Hutton and Withrow. Let's get it started with a
Hutton,
video.
real quick, though, before that, Shane, old friend of our old Nashville radio days, in the YouTube chat, and he's got a question. He said, will you guys be able to take calls?
Is this Shane Train? This is Shane Train.
This is the Shane Train. Shane, if you remember, spelled in a very unconventional way.
Yeah.
The only man I know that spells his name S-H-I-N, not S-H-A-N-E, which I'll always claim. I don't think his parents were being cute. I think his parents didn't know how to spell. But when I see something like that, my grandmother had that where she had a middle name. I forget what it was, but it was misspelled.
So we need to get background on these spellings.
And everybody said it the wrong way because it was actually misspelled.
We need to give background on the spellings and the pronunciation here because it was during the Marcus Mariota rookie season. where everyone was screwing up his name and saying Mariota, Mariota. And we were saying it's Mario. Stop saying Mariota. And this guy called in and it said that it goes, what does it matter? Like, just let people say it however you want to say it. And so the next guy on the line was a guy named Josh. And so we went to the next caller, and I just called him Josh instead of Josh because it doesn't matter. And so Josh Castile stuck. And then we had Shane Train because he spelled his name closer to the name Train than it was Shane. It was well done. So who do we have in the comments the other day? We had another guy that I screwed up his name
I
on
mean,
purpose.
that was the best.
Here's
That
the
was the
shout out to
best
Marcus
analogy,
Mariota.
though, of oh, what does it matter if everybody's mispronouncing it?
Yeah.
And I feel like Jacob Lutz, who is
That's a good one.
ahead of all time. We called him Jacob Lutz for the first 2 weeks. We knew him, and then someone else that knew Jacob said, "Hey, by the way, it's actually Lutz." Jacob never even corrected us, which is way too polite of him not to correct us. But that would have been the same if we just said, "Oh, okay,
Doesn't
I
matter.
don't care if he says Lutz, I'm going to
Who
call him
cares?
Lutz." It's ridiculous. Call the man by his name.
It's like everyone wants to put an N in your name for some reason with Withrow. I don't get it.
Yeah, and everybody always says, like, well, I don't know any Withrows. And I say, well, do you know any Winthrows? Because I sure as heck don't know any Winthrows either. I don't know why the natural inclination, maybe because it's closer to Winslow, like Carl Winslow on Family Matters and the Winslow family. I don't know why people automatically want to put an N in Withrow every time, but it's certainly a thing. It's either that or put the E after the H and say Withrow. And again, I'm like, how many Witherows does one know out there? I know Withrow's not a common name, but come on.
On this show, we'll get it right. The pronunciations matter, right? They
Yeah.
matter.
Hutton, what's really common though, especially in these parts, as we do the show out of Nashville, in rural Middle Tennessee, what's common is people wilding out at sporting events
See,
at some of these games.
Okay, so I haven't seen this in person, and I mean, you and I have been to plenty of these events, county fairs. Coach Mack would say goat ropings. Remember this back? So like we've been to plenty of these events in the South. I've never seen an all-out just someone lose their mind and either have a brawl. We've seen a video with the last couple of years of players going after officials on the field. You would see this more often than I would just by coaching in youth sports and parents and how they behave.
So
But this is beyond that. This is a what is it? Girlfriend boyfriend crime? Is this what's going on here?
I have no. So here's I'm going to read you just the little snippet from WSMV, who's got the story on this.
Okay, yeah.
A 16-year-old Middle Tennessee girl is facing charges after authorities said she ran onto the field and tackled a middle school football player during a game on Tuesday night. The game between South Middle School and Cornersville Middle School was being played at Franklin County High School, where South Middle plays its home games. Authorities said South scored a touchdown and an extra point around 8 p.m. when a scuffle broke out between two players at the end of the play. Now, get ready for this. Video of the game obtained by WSMV shows two referees throwing flags for the scuffle in the end zone while the players start to walk back towards their huddles. At that point, a 16-year-old girl is seen jumping into the fray. Let's go to the tail of the tape, Hutton, and watch the video of this 16-year-old girl who I guess goes to the defense of her little brother. I don't think it's a boyfriend. I mean, she's 16. This is a middle school game. These kids are like 13 and 14 years old.
Oh, in these parts, man, you could have 16 and 13.
Now, the video, as you continue to break it down, gets even funnier because watch how mad this coach gets. And all right, and here comes the flag at the very end. I love the nonchalant flag toss so high in the air by the middle school official. Look at the tackle.
Look at her just walk off. She just walks off like no big deal.
I mean, that's how you finish, right? Offensive line coaches in college football would be impressed with that finish. You drive their face mask into the turf the way this girl did. Now, I would say that she could get badly injured.
Look at the guy get picked up and bear hugged and picked up.
Yeah. Also, why is number 4 wearing a different color helmet than everybody else? Is this like the middle school equivalent of the red jersey where he's not supposed to get hit?
Is that the blue tit? That's the equivalent of the blue tit here. You get your concussion protocol, but you stay in the game.
But they don't have a green one for that. I mean, again, it's
rural
green, middle school football.
So yeah, I know. Yeah,
they couldn't color code it up to match the green jerseys. Hutton, a couple takeaways from this video. One, just completely insane that this happened. Like, if you're her parents, how upset are you that that's your kid
they may be proud
in that moment?
The father may be proud. If the father's present, the father's proud.
Well, so she has been banned from all Cornersville middle school athletic events for life.
But get it right though, Chad. It's Cornersville.
Cornersville, sorry, I should know better, Hutton.
Yeah,
She's been banned from all future events. The TSSAA, I think, has banned her from TSSAA events for a year.
she's
She's
very
been
thankful.
arrested. Like they're pressing charges against this girl. Hutton, I would say that she could get badly injured running onto the field like that. But I watched the video. I'm like, she's bigger and tougher than every kid on the
She
field.
she looks like a WNBA player going after Caitlin Clark.
There was one child on that field who looked like he was 6 years old just watching the fracas take place. I mean, that girl, sign her up. She had some good hip thrust. The takedown was impressive. The takedown followed by
Well,
the shove back down to the
me,
ground.
no one wanted to F with her, man. She is walking off the field like the coaches or whatever. They're bear hugging the player and just pulling them. And she just, I don't know if we can roll it one more time. She just walks off. No one's talking to her. No one wants to mess with her, man. When she gets done trucking this guy, looks like Delaney Walker with me on the sideline, pushes him down again. He gets picked up right here. Now watch her just walk off like no big deal. She talks to the official and then just nonchalantly just goes about her day, headed over to the tilt-a-whirl or whatever's behind the grandstand there.
Hutton, this is the best piece excerpt from the story from WSMV. You ready for this doozy of a sentence?
Yes.
The teen, who deputies said was at the game with her parents, was released to go home with her family. Can you imagine that car ride home? I mean, as a parent, I'm thinking
Her father's probably the sheriff of the county.
but the ride home of just what are we doing? What are we doing?
It's a bench seat in a pickup truck. She's in the middle of the seat.
She probably had to ride in the bed on the way home. I don't think she got a seat there. She's probably strapped down to the bed on the way back.
You're talking to a guy who grew up on a farm. I miss those days. Right in the bed of a pickup truck. You don't see that anymore.
And there are plenty of counties
fest here in Nashville. That's the
plenty
last
of counties
time
I've been in that they don't frown upon children riding in the back of a truck bed wherever they need to go. So that wasn't illegal, but unfortunately for her, running onto the field and clotheslining a child during a football game is illegal.
Well, if she's 16, she's also a child.
She's also a child. But when I look at her next to that player, I feel like there's one child in the shot. It's not her. The way that takedown took place.
Well, the fact that she's released. Well, I want to know the details of why she did this. And the fact that they're like, yeah, just go about. They didn't bother her. It's like everyone was in on the story and like, oh, this kid got his. He deserved it. And we're going to let her just walk off. I want to know what the kid did.
The kid, I guess, got up. Oh, no, sorry.
How do you
the game ended. Hutton, I forgot to add that part. They just stopped the game.
So there was something. How do you feel if you're the parent of the kid who got trucked by the girl?
Mad?
That's even better. Like I would feel. I'm more embarrassed if I'm his father.
Well, I'm angry. I mean, they're going to press charges against her too.
I guess no one there wanted to. She'll be acquitted.
Incredible stuff.
Oh, sign her up. She could play on Clay's team on the Nashville Vols.
She could be the one biological female once she becomes of age that's going to be on the Nashville Vols.
That's right. Yes. We got plenty to come today. We're going to get into. I was not a fan. I was not a fan of the color rush uniforms in the NFL. This is not what we're getting to though. It's not color rush, but it's rivalry uniforms, Chad, that are in college football. We're going to see this with Tennessee and Alabama, and later this hour, I gave you the idea of the top rivalries in college football that need to buy into this. And we're going to play it into the NFL as well.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're also going to get into jersey patches next time, which is a big story at Sport and State right now, and it's the next frontier of money making opportunities for college programs.
Well, it's in the millions upon millions, unless you're the Big 12 as a conference. And what we're seeing with the jersey patches, what Ohio State is making as a university, as a program, not just a university, as a program, a football program, compared to the conference in the Big 12, and how they got it wrong. We'll discuss that and more straight ahead here on Hutton Withrow, Sport and State. It is Hutton Withrow here at Sport and State, sportandstate.com. One thing that we love, Chad, is if you go to sportandstate.com and you want to watch the show, how do you find the show? Sportandstate.com. It's right there, right at the top of the site. Any of the shows that'll be live, including Clay and Buck, will be live at Clay's site, all new company, sportandstate.com. Easy to find, as easy as possible. We make things easy on the viewer or the listener. If you want to consume the show, it's very simple to find. That is not found in every corporate business. We have that here at Sport and State.
Yeah, it's and I would advise everybody to go read Clay's intro column for Sport and State that sort of outlines the business plan and what this company's going to be. And I think that for someone that too often, Hutton, clicks on something I really want to read or I really want to see, and I see that it's behind a paywall, it pisses me off. That is never going to happen here. Never going to happen.
I agree. Hey, you said Kelly in Vegas is in the chat?
Kelly in Vegas is in the chat.
What's up, Kelly?
Kelly in Vegas.
Glad you're here. We'll join yours as well later today on Tilt with Kelly and Ariel and Joe coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern. Hey, so jersey patch sales, all that stuff. You and I had a topic a few months ago. We were discussing, we were trying to pair the SEC program with the perfect company or partner, business partner for these practice uniform patches. And then also carries over to the game day field. Now, we haven't seen that as much in the SEC. SEC programs are open for business here. This is a multi-million-dollar annual payment that we're going to see. But, Ohio State's, sold theirs for, $17 million, I believe?
Yeah, JP Morgan.
Incredible. That's annually. And that's just one program at Ohio State University athletics. Okay. First off, do you think bang for the buck, it's worth it for the business? I think it's actually undervalued, especially if you're getting the patch on. I mean, let's face it. Ohio State's going to be on Big Noon playing on Fox every single week. We know the audience for that. It's a billboard on every single player. And the NIL age, it's the program putting it on the player. It's the brand with the brand. I think it's undervalued, quite frankly.
You think 17 million? I think Notre Dame got more.
I mean, I think it's worth more.
I think so Ohio State announced, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, $17 million just for football, right? Is incredible. And then Notre Dame, I think, got even more money than that. Off of it. So, here's the thing.
It's only going to go up. You don't know the true value. It's like trying to, if you're in radio 10 years ago, if you're in radio 10 years ago, you didn't know how to sell digital, right? Like you have to learn how to do that. I don't know if the programs know how to sell this and what the value is, or if you're trying to pay for it, you don't know what the market is for. But if we're having $40+ million rosters, and that's on the low end for what the estimate might be, I think if you're getting every single player, and it's only for the top 20, 25 programs in the country. I'm not saying everyone. But if you're on national TV every single day in the marquee slot and every week, and that's Ohio State and the Big Ten, absolutely it's worth it.
So, and that's what I was trying to find. I was going to the site. Mark Burns, who's a writer for Sport and State.
Yeah, shout out Mark.
Shout out Mark, who wrote a really good, in-depth piece about college football's newest billboard is worth millions. SEC school exec says we're open for business. Now, here's what's interesting about it. A lot of marketing experts and people in that field say you don't really know what it's worth yet because it hasn't been done.
Right.
But the value of it, here's a great example, and I think Mark laid this out very well. If you're Texas A&M, let's say, Texas A&M has all of these super wealthy businesses, energy companies, oil companies associated with that school that for years they've just given money over to the program to help them win because they want to win a college football playoff, right? Or they want to win a basketball championship or whatever. So they just turn that over with really no return on investment other than their own happiness. This is a way for one of those companies now to actually get some return on investment.
That's a booster. What's the return on investment at Texas Tech if you're just paying for the roster?
But that's exactly my point. Now that's a way, Hutton, to turn it over and say, I'm going to get this jersey patch with my company logo on it, and I've given the school money for years. I'm going to give them another 20 mil or 15 mil or whatever for the year, and I'm going to have my patch every time the Aggies play a game or whatever it may be. Now, not everybody shares this. Chris Del Conte at Texas said, you expect me to put Sonic on our Texas football jerseys? Not going to happen. He's like, we are not going to
everyone
cheapen
has
our
a
uniform with a
price.
patch ever. Now, I
Well,
think
see,
that might change eventually, but that's his stance right now.
but see, I think that's brilliant. That's actually raising the overall price tag of your value. Like you say, hell no, we're not putting Sonic on our jersey. Well, Sonic needs to raise the offer. Come back with something better. Everybody's got the price, and that's exactly what the Big 12 didn't do. I mean, they took what is it 20 million that's the overall sponsorship for Monster Energy for the entire conference. The entire conference is presented for 20 million. That is like it's absolutely you need the cash, but you can't take the low offer at the time when you don't know where the value line is going to be because I would allow the Big Ten and the SEC to set the price for me. And now you've set the floor. That's a day one floor that we're used to having, not what we had yesterday for Sport and State. I thought it's just a huge mistake by the Big 12. Meanwhile, Texas is worth way more than what Sonic might be paid to match whatever JP Morgan just paid. The price tag only goes up now because of what Ohio State is receiving. And again, we're talking about the 10 to 15 marquee brands across college football. That's more and more millions coming in. And the only downside to the booster, who's the owner of the company or the business that wants to pay this, you're paying the university, and that's not necessarily going to back to the roster like you would be paying. It's going to the bottom dollar and the ultimate making budget or paying the rest of the programs. You don't get to allocate the funds the way you want to. It's a different set of circumstances. It's more of a commercial than it is an NIL deal.
Yeah, but it can still be used for NIL deals. You're paying for the commercial,
yeah.
But you're doing exactly what you were going to do, just handing them money. You're trying to buy a championship. You're trying to buy wins. You're trying to buy players. You're trying to buy prestige for your athletic department, being a fan of the school. That's what all of this is also indirectly, while also getting that added bump of marketing dollars. But here, the difference in money, okay, we're talking blue bloods right now. Ohio
Absolutely.
State, Notre Dame. Like Ohio State gets $17 million for football jerseys
Just
through
for the
JP
jersey.
Morgan.
Exactly.
So that's awesome, okay? Everybody's going to do this differently, and everybody's got different value. The University of Tennessee is a great example of this. Hutton, they just sold their basketball, just basketball only, men's and women's, not even football, for $3 million to Axel Logistics, whatever that is. Now I know what it is because they're going to be on the jersey. And a lot of people probably Google what they are because of that jersey, right?
And it's Final Four. It's a Final 14, Chad.
Well, I mean, I don't. Maybe. I mean,
but I'm saying, like,
possibly.
It's not
but
middle
my point
of the
is,
pack
like, people aren't doing this and getting guaranteed like the team's going to go this far in the NCAA tournament.
Well,
they're doing it because they're alums or fans of the university a lot of times. Like JP Morgan has a lot of ties to Ohio State, and they're saying we're going to do this and finally get some value back instead of just paying for players. Now, some of them are saying, we believe this is going to be a great boost for what we're doing. There's a content creator that's sponsoring, I think, Sam Houston State, and got them on their jersey, or a media company has it. Snapback Sports is sponsoring Sam Houston State, and they're vowing to make Sam Houston State the internet's #1 college football team.
But there's
with a marketing campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
there's a ton of different ways to skin a cat.
Yes. And that's why you get a multi-year agreement with the Big 12, and it's just like they're not going to get what they thought they were getting because they jumped out there and grabbed a sponsor. I mean, they had to have it, I guess, but like, man, it was when you look at the overall price tag for the conference, what's the SEC sponsorship worth? Not the program, but the conference. Think about that compared to what the Big 12 has valued themselves as. They've accepted the price tag.
Just in general, too, the fact that the Big 12 schools allowed themselves to be sold by the conference writ large instead of selling these things, parceling them out school by school the way the SEC is doing, and they can all go get whatever the money they can get. Tennessee's going to get more likely than Mississippi State, right? Alabama or Georgia is going to get more than Missouri.
And they've got
go
the
down the
minority
list,
investors.
but that's the way it works. It's the same way Major League Baseball teams get different amounts of money based on where they are and where their market is for television rights. That's the way it should be. But the Big 12, sorry, Kelly in Vegas, K-State alum, the Big 12 looks like idiots in all of this, and they look like they don't understand business. And also, flip side, kudos to Monster Energy. You got yourself a bargain.
That's what I'm saying.
For all football and basketball jerseys for an entire conference for $20 million. Great job by them.
And meanwhile, Sonic gets a little praise from Texas, but I mean, if Sonic wants to pony, they're going to pony up a lot more. Pony up a lot more than what Monster Energy is getting.
Well, Texas is saying they're not going to do it.
Well,
Like, we are not going to take
sure,
anybody's money. But
yeah,
we're not
but
going to desecrate the sanctity of the Texas Longhorn jersey,
right,
is
but
what they're saying.
but the NFL also said they wouldn't get into bed with gambling. Like there's a lot of sanctity that everybody's got a price tag, is what I'm saying.
But I'm going to say, I think Texas is the only one who's come out and said that. So everybody else is fair game. Everyone else is open for business.
And I would say Texas
can go die on that island if they want, and they're saying we're going to have money elsewhere, so it doesn't matter.
Texas will not be Clemson, is my point. Texas will not be Dabo and Clemson. Texas will keep up with the Texans. They'll keep up with Texas A&M and Oklahoma and the rest of the SEC. They've done that. They've done it just fine. My guess is they would accept the jersey patch deal if it's coming in for $50 million a season and not 17.
I think if they have their richest booster that owns a company comes in and says, I don't want to give you money anymore unless I can put my logo on your jersey, they'll probably bend and do it at that point, and they'll sign the most lucrative deal in college sports for that jersey patch and go ahead and take the money. That's my guess.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, speaking of jerseys, let's dive into what we're seeing with Tennessee and Alabama. Gave you a great idea about rivalry matchups and the true colors, the color uniforms. Not the full. We're not talking color rush. It's still authentic to the university. But the away jerseys is what we're talking about. The home jerseys in college, the away jerseys in the NFL. We'll discuss that straight ahead and maybe name our top 5 NFL and college that should do this. That should consider this and follow the lead of what we're seeing with Tennessee and Alabama. Some good ones, some classic rivalries that we'll point to. That's all straight ahead right here on Hutton Withrow. It's Hutton Withrow. Perfect 10 mortgage. The name says it all. Apply in 10 minutes. You close in 10 days. That's the whole idea here. A mortgage that's simple, it's fast, it's fair. 10 minutes, start to finish, and you can do it from your phone with Perfect 10 Mortgage. No stack of paperwork, Withrow. No sitting across a desk from a banker who's going to talk down to you. No one needs this.
No, no one at all, Hutton. No one needs that. You want to get right to it, right? And also checking your options, not going to ding your credit score
Nope.
with Perfect 10. You find out where you actually stand before you commit to anything. If you'd rather talk to a human, we certainly would. Call and you can get a real loan officer and not a phone tree. If you're buying new construction, ask about the builder program, builder funded rate buy downs that can get you a rate the bank can't print. If you're not ready to buy, that's fine. Date the rate, marry the house, put it on a t-shirt.
Love it.
Get the house you want now, refinance when rates come down, straight talk on what you actually qualify for, built for real people, not paperwork. Perfect10mortgage.com or call them at 855-789-1010. That's perfect10mortgage.com. Perfect 10 Mortgage is an equal housing lender.
Date the rate, marry the mortgage. We love this. We love it. It's like every time you say this, I'm thinking of why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free from Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know why I think about this.
I also feel, because Lutz made me feel like a complete moron for never hearing it before.
I've never
I feel
heard
like
it
one of
either.
those people that you say a very common phrase and they look at you like you have 15 eyes when you
I've
say,
never heard it
like,
either.
what does that mean? What is that again? That's the way I felt because I'd never heard it before.
It's like I'm sure if we did a show of hands in the chat, everyone's heard about this. You and I, it was brand new to us. It's kind of crazy. We haven't heard it as much as we like it. We wanted a T-shirt. We have had we're the two that needed to hear it so we could put it on a T-shirt, right? We haven't been able to do that.
We needed it.
From T-shirts to uniforms. Chad, how happy are you that Tennessee and Alabama will be wearing their colors in the rivalry matchup, orange and crimson, in this rivalry matchup on the gridiron?
First time since 1970 that both Tennessee and Alabama will play third Saturday in October in their home color uniforms. It's beautiful. It is the colors of autumn, crimson and orange. It's the colors of the trees that time of year. It is a beautiful sight to behold. I love it for both. This is going to be a home and home experiment. They're going to do it in Knoxville this year. They'll both wear colors in Tuscaloosa a year from now. I think it's amazing, Hutton. And it got me thinking about UCLA and USC, how typically they'll both wear their colors when they play each other in that rivalry. And it also got me thinking about what are some other college football games where if you wore both colors, it would look really cool on the field.
So we'll be doing some things where we'll name 5, 10, maybe. I think this is a perfect number for this exercise, 5, top 5, because this only works for me with a very small group of games. Like Tennessee and South Carolina, I don't need the colors of Halloween on the field. You know, like the rival crimson and orange work. You mentioned USC and UCLA. That works for me. I don't need Tennessee and Florida doing this, but Tennessee, Alabama. Why did they do it in 70 and then go away from it? I'm curious. Do you have any idea?
It's probably some stupid SEC bylaw or something that didn't allow it from that point on.
Yeah, the white uniform
I guarantee
thing.
you they're having to get an exemption from the SEC for this, to both wear color uniforms, because I'm sure there's some rule about, lighter colors and darker colors or whatever.
And we're talking tradition here too, like not the smoky gray versus whatever. This is the orange and the crimson. That's what works for me, not the manufactured deal to sell a jersey, but the old school look and the rivalry that brings back like you said, it's the mystique of what you remember seeing growing up and the rivalry and the passion behind the two programs.
John Eccles is in our chat and says
Eccles,
Ohio State, Michigan is one of them. Good old Eccles, but they're love to see this guy again. I'm not going Ohio State, Michigan. Let's show the 5 that I chose, Hutton, and then we're going to have some NFL picks for you.
Okay, here we go.
Of color uniforms. First off, apologies to Hutton, who does not want to see Halloween on the field, because that's exactly what I want to see in Clemson and South Carolina, is the orange of Clemson. It's not quite Halloween orange like Tennessee.
But couldn't you do the crimson there too instead of the black?
See, I think the crimson and that orange, this is where it gets very difficult, okay? And correct me if I'm wrong. This is almost like the old dress game. Remember, is it tan and blue or is it black and whatever? Everybody's eye palette
is it Yanni
sees
or
things
Laurel?
Differently. The prism of your eye is gonna clash different ways. Okay, Eccles says Ohio State, Michigan. To me, that's too close. Like I'm thinking of that red and that dark blue, and I'm thinking that does not work on the field. Let me give you my 2 perfect picks that I think from a color aesthetic works amazingly well.
Okay,
Duke and North Carolina. The dark Duke blue and the very, very light baby blue
It's got to
Carolina
be
blue
yeah,
jerseys.
it's got to be darker than what we see. It's got to be the dark around the Duke logo at the bottom here, which is very hard to get matched up because I don't know the color palette for all these programs, but I'm
Is
with you.
that
It's got to be
not
darker.
is that not glorious though?
It
That
looks
that
good.
Duke and North Carolina both wearing their blues.
It looks
The
good.
other one's Miami, Florida State. Go Miami green and the Florida
I like
State
that one.
dark burgundy crimson head to head on the field would be amazing. Hutton, you brought up Texas A&M. This to me is very similar to Tennessee,
I
Alabama.
agree. Yep.
The problem is with the Texas burnt orange, it's a little closer to burgundy. In A&M, the Tennessee orange,
Well,
you're not gonna mistake that Tennessee orange
you could
for
also do
crimson.
Texas and Oklahoma too, but like I just think of the darker. It's like a it's a reddish. It's a burgundy look to it, right? Like that. I don't know. I'm more fond of that color than I am what Oklahoma uses.
Tennessee lighter orange, Clemson lighter orange than
Yeah.
Texas. I think works better with crimson, reds, burgundies, whatever it may be. I sound like a fashion designer right now. I am clearly not. Georgia Tech. The Georgia Tech here, and this one is a white jersey. I'm talking Georgia Tech gold. Their home gold uniform versus Georgia in the Georgia red. That would be a color
Yeah.
versus color matchup. Right now, they're
Hey,
already wearing white and red. I think that could work. But Hutton, the best on this list to me, again, personal preference, what I think would work and wouldn't clash too bad on the field where you're going to throw to the wrong team or anything like
it's gonna
that.
be the dark blue. I'm with you,
Duke,
man.
North Carolina, Miami, Florida State. Give me that all day long. And give me what Tennessee and Alabama are doing. I love it. Adds a little special spice, a little pumpkin spice, if you will, to the fall season with those two teams wearing colors. I think it's incredible and it looks amazing on the field. I love it.
So the other one that we could mention there would be like Notre Dame USC, which is coming back. That would be good. That wouldn't suck, right? Um, I'm thinking Notre Dame could use a lot of different colors for that matchup.
Yeah, the Notre Dame green versus USC's burgundy would be awesome. Like if Notre Dame wore their special green uniform, Hutton, and USC's wearing their normal home uniforms, I think that looks great on the field.
Hey, so you were like, huh, give me your top five for the NFL. And I don't know about you. I thought color rush. I'm like, I've got to get away from the color rush thought process here. But I came up with Chicago and Green Bay. That comes to mind. That was the first matchup I thought of. And again, we're not going just some of the color rush things are just ridiculous. We're going with the authentic road the home uniforms for what we'd see these teams play in. Titans and Texans with the Texans going with their red uniform, which they break out every now and then, and that's the rivalry between ownership that no one talks about unless it's the local markets there. That looks good. That's my favorite one. I'm also fond of Bills Patriots because you can flip flop the uniforms based on the colors here, and like the Patriots have an old school red as well that you can make work. Chiefs and Chargers would be very aesthetically pleasing, and the Broncos with the Raiders. The Raiders could also go with their full silver uniform, their solid silver, and I think that would look great for a matchup too. Which one's your favorite here, Chad?
I think Broncos Raiders is my favorite by far. The Raiders black you could do
The
with
authentic,
almost any color because
yeah,
it's so
except purple.
distinguished
Yeah, I'm with you.
and separate and different from the other ones.
Minnesota and Baltimore, I tried to pick out like who I would match them with. It's very difficult because it's close to red and black, and to me it just it doesn't work. Like Pittsburgh and Baltimore don't work to me. Uh,
So
Go ahead. Sorry.
I've got some different thoughts on these.
Go
I
ahead.
like what you've done here mostly. I would say, like, I would flip Bills Patriots. I would want to only do Bills Patriots if the Bills were wearing their more traditional blue that they've been wearing in recent seasons, not
Okay.
that navy blue they went to. And if the Patriots wore the hiking center Patriot helmet that's white with
With the
their
red.
old red jerseys, that would be a work of art on the field.
See that's their. I thought that was I went into it thinking like the color rush just the mustard orange for something for like who wore that was that
But that's not their color rush. Like what I'm saying with the Patriots is, and people know, I mean, it's the Patriots
well,
uniform of the '80s. That's
yeah, they're
red.
old school home
Yeah,
games.
they wear it. They wear it during the season. Some with the white helmet and white pants versus the Bills and just the Bills home blue uniform. I think that would be the best look and separate from each other. And I'll say Titans Texans, that's the least desirable of matchups
Yeah.
in this one. But because of the history with the city of Houston, Titans light blue and Texans red would be incredible.
I was thinking through so I left the Eagles out because I represented the green with the Packers. I was thinking through like which others are difficult to match up with. Seattle was difficult for me to pair with. Same for Jacksonville and Carolina, but also because I just don't care about those markets.
Yeah.
Tampa with the creamsicle too. I should have mentioned them. That goes back to a little bit of the Tennessee reference for you.
Tampa creamsicle. I feel like they almost did this when I was watching the quarterback series. Tampa creamsicle and Falcons black would be awesome on the field together. For a divisional rivalry game, Falcons black and then the creamsicle would be great.
I'm a huge fan of what the Titans have done with their uniform switch. Was it, the way they marketed this and rolled it out they refused to say it was the Oilers that is the nod to the Oilers. It's exactly the Houston Oilers and why they did it. But they finally have a uniform, Chad, that we could see an NBA player walk into an arena with wearing randomly because they have zero connection to the Titans whatsoever, or a rapper, or someone a famous star walking somewhere, and it would be just fashionable. They had one of the worst, and they flipped it into one of the best, and it's a great marketing play by them. It really is. They've gone from worst to first, last to the top of the league when it comes to favorite uniforms.
You think Reese Witherspoon's going to roll up to one of her Draper James stores in Nashville wearing the Titans blue jersey at some point, oversized women's jersey? I really like the jersey. It looks great on the field. I wanted to see it in that first preseason game to see what they look like. I think it's a 10 out of 10. It's better than the previous options for the Titans, better than the original, better than the brand they went to recently.
I'm with you.
I just don't care about
I know
connection to the Oilers, but again, if the goal is to get a better looking uniform, then it's a better looking uniform.
I guess that's my point, though. Like the last time I remember seeing a Titans uniform anywhere, other than like an NFL game, would be like Jeff Jarrett and WCW back in the day. Like trolling in Buffalo, trolling Bills fans after the Music City Miracle, wearing a white check uni. Like zero connection to the Oilers for me too, but it's someone would wear it just because it's cool. I'm not. I think you're the same way. I'm not into uniforms. I don't put someone else's last name on my back. But like what sells, and you can finally sell a uniform outside of a pro shop in Nashville because of that. And I don't know why the Chargers went to a darker blue.
I'm not into wearing uniforms. I'm super into uniforms.
Yeah.
I'm super into what teams are wearing and what I like and what I don't like. I just would never wear a uniform. I'd never wear a jersy of someone else.
But if you were buying one, it's what you're into, right? Like, yeah, I know
Right.
you're a Tennessee Orange, but like also it's what's aesthetically pleasing. And what looks good. Like the blue, like we're seeing with Duke and Carolina. I think that's a great one. Much more to come. We've got some more stories rolling in from sportandstate.com. Some headlines straight ahead here on Hutton Withrow. Chad, randomly to my left, I have Clay Travis balls right here. Um, but also, Clay Travis Law is available for you. Accidents don't wait for a good time. One bad moment, a wreck, a fall, doctor who wasn't paying attention. Suddenly, you're fighting an insurance company that does this every single day. You don't want to go up against that. That's why Clay started Clay Travis Law. He's a Vanderbilt law grad. He built the firm around one idea that people deserve someone willing to pay attention to them, ask the hard questions, push back when things don't add up, and experienced trial attorneys who bring the fight to corporations and insurers. That's based in Nashville, trusted across the country. It's Clay Travis Law.
We celebrate Clay's entire catalog,
We do.
Balls, Dixieland Delight, all the books, and all the companies too with Clay
Yes.
Travis Law. Car and truck wrecks, rideshare accidents, medical malpractice, premises liability, product liability. If you were wronged, they want to hear about it. Here's they promise honesty. They don't sugarcoat your case. You'll hear what it's actually worth, not what you want to hear. And the case evaluation is free, no charge, no pressure, no hassle. Just tell them your story. Go to claytravislaw.com or call 877-222-4444. That's claytravislaw.com. No case is too big or too small.
Chad, right now at sportandstate.com, you can read the story from Mark Burns, a Mac school's genius marketing move that college football's never seen. It's paying off for them. Akron came up with a gimmick. We've seen this some in spring football, I'd say, but in an actual game, they've been able to auction off to the highest bidder a chance to call plays against Robert Morris, the opening drive, and it's worked. It's a job well done. I would compare this to minor league baseball, having to get fans to come out. You always have to have the latest idea. This is outside the box thinking, and it's a Madden college football 26 esque way to get someone that otherwise wouldn't to want to spend some money with the program.
Yeah, and it's even more brilliant than that. It's not just a highest bidder situation. If you buy season tickets, so basically they announced this, you're going to be offensive coordinator
Oh,
of the
season
game.
tickets. Okay, so you're in a
One lucky fan will be able to script the opening drive and a home opener. Extra
okay.
chance to win with every new season ticket holder you refer. Random drawing among season ticket holders. Drawing will be held on August 19th. So this got Dan Big Cat Katz with Barstool talking about it. It got other shows talking about this promotion. Dan Katz started buying up Akron season tickets on his own to try to up the chances of him winning the lottery, saying that he's going to show that he's the next great offensive mind and he's not going to tip his hat as to what he's going to do. And even joked that you may be a spy for Robert Morris when he was asked what he might do offensively. That's really cool. And that shows that it paid off, because when you do something like this, it's not just, boy, we sold more season tickets. It's who can we get to talk about this story? Day 2 of our show, we're talking about this story now. That's a win for Akron. It's a win for anyone that picks this story up and runs with it. And Dan Katz, Hutton, is one of the 9 finalists. He bought enough season tickets to where he's actually in the final 9. There's some other content creator, influencer that's also in there, but Dan Katz is one of the 9 finalists to call plays.
If I'm an Akron fan, I'm pissed off about that. That is rigged. That's rigged. There's the idea that Big Cat is randomly one of the 9 that made the finalists for this. Akron's brilliant for using this as a national way to get exposure, but it's like Jelly Roll with the Titans as a finalist for season tickets to call plays. It's an inside job here. Akron picked up on the momentum and did this. Of course they did. But like,
well, here's my question for you.
If I'm actually buying season
tickets, are there
tickets,
Akron fans? I mean, they sold their tickets out for the first time ever with this promotion.
Sure.
They sold their suites out for the first time ever with this promotion. So they haven't had a winning season in like 10 years.
Well, so
I just don't know who that person is that you're offending with this.
Well, those that were Akron fans that haven't gone to games because they suck, that just bought season tickets again for $150. It was like, are there Vanderbilt fans? Well, if they did this and all of a sudden where Theo Vaughn is a finalist, it's an inside job. That's all I'm saying. It's like the randomness of it. This started with a direct attempt to build Akron fans. And it's like, is Big Cat going to use his season tickets? I doubt it. Is my point.
Yeah. Brooks Carter says, if I'm an Akron fan, quote, there's probably 9 that actually exist. That's my point. I don't know who you're offending with
Well,
that. There's a very small group of people that would actually care about that.
well,
I'm absolutely giving it to
I'm not. You don't
Dan
have to be
Big Cat
offended, but I would be
if
pissed
I'm
off
that.
that like I bought season tickets for this idea, like the idea that a random fan, a football fan, could do this, and now it's just going to be it's a reality show instead. That's all I'm saying.
It was always a reality show. Like you said, it's a minor league baseball type promotion. The fact that they got people that have a following and an audience to pick up on it is great news for Akron. Now, what I would like to see is like I don't know how many tickets Dan Big Cat purchased, but if he bought a lot of tickets, I hope he gives them to somebody. Like I hope it's not just, hey, I have a lot of money, I'm going to buy up these tickets
Sure.
and no one's going to
Well, they
go.
would
I hope
anyway.
he
They're
like at
giving them
least
away
gives
anyway,
them to
right?
someone to
Yeah.
go to the games
Now,
at some
here's the other
point.
thing that's rigged. You're calling plays off of a playbook, not whatever play you want. Like the team's going to have to know the offense is going to have to know the play call. So the coaches are going to determine the game plan for the game before the fan even sees the play sheet. You're picking off a play sheet, not a Hail Mary. Out of you're not picking the Los Angeles Rams playbook if you're on Madden. They're going to have a very. My guess is you'll be able to pick 5 or 6 plays from a call sheet that's about 15, and the
Yeah.
first drive's already scripted anyway.
I mean, I think you're going way too deep with this, Hutton. I don't think that it really matters
No,
one
I
way or
think
the other.
people think like, what would you do? And it's like, if I'm thinking. Like, by the way, if they go score with the fan calling plays, how do you feel if you're Robert Morris?
Well, if you're Robert Morris, you're getting paid to lose a game. And I don't know what Robert Morris football is like, so I think they kind of know the deal when they go into it. But just picture this, the opening drive of Akron season. Okay, let's say it's Big Cat or some other media member. And let's say that he installs a completely different offense that has 3 plays, that they can run the triple option all of a sudden for like 3 different types of plays.
Yeah.
And they go down the field and score a touchdown on the opening drive, running the triple option at Robert Morris, which they never prepared for and never seen. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying if that happened, you have now parlayed the interest that you have generated with this promotion, which has been genius, by the way, because we're talking about it and everybody else has. And now you've parlayed it into even more interest on a game that no one is talking about. As Brooks said, the 9 Akron fans are talking about it at their local pub and no one else after that game. But if that happens, we come back on Monday and we probably mention that, oh, this thing happened, by the way, in the Akron Robert Morris game when everyone else is going to be talking about Clemson LSU.
So Joe Moorhead is the head coach. His annual salary is $620,000. He's also the play caller. My guess is Joe Moorhead is not going to. I mean, can you imagine if let's say Eccles in the chat wins this? You think drunk uncle shows up and makes his own offense? Hell no.
I mean, I think that it would be hilarious if, like you just said, I kind of want to do this. And they're like, we've got a few trick play formations that kind of feature that. Let's give you 4 plays that we could run out of this different formation and let you cook for one series. I mean, if you're going to go with this, go all the way with. That's why I'm fine with it. Of course, it's an inside job. If one of these media members actually win the drawing, they're not winning it legitimately.
No.
But I'm fine with that inside job if it generates more attention for your program and gets a few people in the community a little bit more fired up. I mean, again, they sold out their their tickets, their season ticket suite for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, the other thing too is to consider the ultimate awful, like the worst case scenario: pick 6, first fumble, scoop and score from the first play of the game. I mean, that's the series. But Robert Morris takes a 7-0 lead on the first play.
I mean, you are definitely putting yourself in line. You're already a joke if you're Akron. So let's put it right there.
How do you feel?
Not, 9 fans aside, like you're a joke of a program. You haven't had a winning season in a decade, whatever. But Hutton, if they throw a pick 6
I know,
because of a play that's called, and then let's say they get the ball back and they fumble the kickoff return or something fluky happens and boom, you're down 14-0 at home to Robert Morris and you're in a dogfight the rest of the afternoon. And let's say you lose that game.
Right.
You're opening I think the risk when you do it is that you're opening yourself up for just national humiliation, even more so than you would have otherwise. But I mean, look, we're going to talk WNBA here a little bit later in the show, Hutton. They
Yep.
are a national embarrassment
Yeah,
of
they
an
are.
organization in their stupidity. But also, we're going to be talking WNBA later in the show. Period. End of sentence, end of story. Every show in America is going to spend time talking about the WNBA. They have for months because of their stupidity. Whether you side with it or you don't, you're talking about it. So it's kind of that with Akron, it's very intentional, right? This was an intentional PR stunt to get people talking about them. It worked. And now it is going to be an inside job, and they're going to give it to a very influential media member to call plays for them, I'm guessing.
Now,
The WNBA is not doing this as a PR stunt. They're doing it unintentionally out of stupidity. But if this backfires on Akron, I do agree with you. You come back on Monday morning and we're going to be talking about, but again, we'll still be talking about it. So I guess that's good for them. But hey, can you believe that there was a pick six on play number 2 and Akron lost to Robert Morris in the opener? I mean, that would be a great story too.
I'm kind of rooting for it. I'm
Yeah.
kind of a Robert. They made me a Robert Morris fan.
Toby in the YouTube chat. By the way, the chat is firing this morning. Thank you to everyone who's participating. It warms my cold, dead heart to see people interacting with each other in
Yeah,
the
man.
chat. Toby, with an amazing observation, says they should call a punt on the first play. Can you imagine some Robert Morris fan, some wealthy Robert Morris alum, buys up the season tickets, gets to call the first play, and just punts on first down to start the game back to
Man,
Robert Morris?
what if
Amazing.
what if Joe Moorhead is like if you have the call sheet and it's just like here's our scripted you get to pick from these 15 plays and like 14 of them are runs.
I do think that like any type of premature turnover, like whether it
Oh,
be
I
a
know.
pick six or like what if they did a quick kick on third down? They get sacked. It's third and 17 instead of attempting a play.
Then quarterback gets hurt for the season.
The guy who calls the play is 85 years old. He's like, you know what college football was missing these days? Quick kicks. We don't stress the kicking game enough in this game, and I think you should punt on third down more. I know what the analytics say. I know what they say. I know you should go for it on 4th and 3, or I don't care. We need more quick kicks back in the game. And dude lines up in the shotgun, and the quarterback who's never punted is forced to punt the ball away to the other team and surprise them. It would be incredible. I'm here for it.
And Robert Morris wins by a possession. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, Chad, coming up, imagine being a part of a family where you and your brothers and sisters are about to scoop in $12.5 billion. All right, but there's one sibling who's keeping this from happening, and instead of getting the cash, you may have to just sit around and run the business, continue to run the business. That's straight ahead here on Hutton Withrow. Chad, you're all about the blends with Crockett Coffee. You have the Crockett Coffee mug right in front of you, right? Or is Chad frozen? Maybe he is. Let me tell you what Chad has in front of him. Crockett Coffee. Started by Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Buck's brother Mason. Named after Davy Crockett. He's the king of the wild frontier. He's a storyteller, a patriot, a backwoods legend. Killed himself a bear or a bar, depending on how he said it. If you look at the logo, Davy's surfing on the backs of crocodiles. That tells you everything about the attitude here. 100% pure Arabica. You've got the high altitude beans here, small batch roasted right here in America, Tennessee, the heart of the country. It ships fresh roasted. It's not sitting on a warehouse shelf for 6 months. Light, medium, dark, decaf, organic. Those are the roasts that Chad chooses. He does not go with the mushroom blend, although you can with Crockett Coffee. Whole bean, ground, or K-cups, however you make it in the morning. Set up a subscription. It shows up on your schedule. You can change it, cancel it anytime with Crockett, and it's the free market. That's just how the free market was intended. Free shipping on orders $59 or more, and there's a discount for veterans, as there should be. Crockett partners with Tunnel to Towers, building mortgage-free homes for the families of fallen service members and for those injured veterans and first responders. Good coffee, made in America, doing some good. It's Crockett Coffee, crockettcoffee.com. That's Crockett, Crockett, crockettcoffee.com. So imagine being an owner of an NBA franchise, and well, imagine your family has owned it. You're the daughter or the son, and you end up selling for $12.5 billion. That's what just happened with the Los Angeles Lakers, the Buss family. Although that sell could be in jeopardy because Jeannie Buss is a dissenting voter. She's one of 5 kids from Jerry Buss. Five voted to sell. Jeannie said no. So she's one of 6. And there's a 2017 court order that could decide everything here with $12.5 billion. It's not like it's a majority vote. It's just one dissenting voter of Jeannie Buss who could end up keeping the sale from happening. Where there's Jim, there's Johnny, there's Janie, there's Joey, and there's Jesse. Those are the siblings of the Buss family. And they had roughly, you've got Bob Iger and Josh Kushner, who last week purchased the Lakers, where Mark Walter flipped this into a sell for $12.5 billion. But Jeannie Buss may end up keeping the Buss family from actually voting this through. Withrow's back with us. I saw you take a sip of the Crockett coffee there, Chad. I mentioned that you love all the blends except for the mushroom blends. There it is. You got some Crockett coffee on the way, I know. But there's a 2017 court order stating that no sale of the family's trust, the JAB trust, can be executed without approval from the co-trustees. And one of those co-trustees is Jeannie Buss, and she did not vote yes. And she says the vote now is void because she said no. Chad, if you're one of the 5 kids, your brothers and sisters all said, you know what, we're about to make $12.5 billion. And that's not going to come through because of one voter. How upset would you be? I couldn't imagine thinking like there's one of my brothers or sisters that would keep me from wanting to sell a company that I inherited.
Well, and Hutton, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's Jeannie that's holding it up?
Yeah, she voted no to sell the trust, the Jerry Buss trust.
Okay. Jeannie's the one who's the caretaker of the team and the whole family organization. So that does not surprise me that she would be the one that wants to hold on to it. I mean, look, you're making a lot of money as the owner of the Lakers also. But if you're one of those other kids who's been distant from the organization for so long, yeah. I'm like, that's the one thing
it's about whether or not she stays
in
control. Yeah, right. Like the rest of the franchise. Yeah, you're right. She wants to stay in control of what her father built.
No, I completely agree that she wants to have that sort of leverage over them, which makes sense.
And look, this fractures families. It does, because you end up inheriting. Like, think about what has happened with some of the families in pro sports. Like, I know in Baltimore, where you won't see the Ravens handed down to kids. That's because of the fact that you've got ownership there that doesn't want to see fractures in the family. People fight over this, and there's definitely a fight in that one. Hey, we'll get the connection rolling in just a second. Keep the chat going as we roll on here. This is Sport and State with Hutton Withrow. It's Hutton Withrow. And look, we're live. Chad, this is why we enjoy being live. We like flying by the seat of our pants. We're going to react to news as it happens each morning. In fact, I've already made a note. I need to do a better job of checking for news this time of day. We're not going to be a scripted pregame show. We're not AI. We're going to react to news live and in the moment and check the chat and make it happen. We're also going to make it happen whenever there's storms in the area. And
Hutton, I'm glad you said you're flying by the seat of your pants. I'm glad you're wearing pants because I'm certainly am not right now.
It's pants optional, and today I chose them.
I'm completely pantless. And when my power went out in my home and I had a blackout here. It was rough for me trying to struggle to get up to put pants on. First things first. But yeah, I had a little power outage. Power went out, came back on. Wi-Fi took a little longer to get going, and now we are hopefully set and,
We're back.
ready to keep rolling.
See that guy over there, Withrow? He's back. Go let him know he's back.
I'm back.
Hey, founded by Jennifer Say, XXXY Athletics. She's a former national champion gymnast, former Levi's brand president. She walked away from a corporate job rather than say something that she didn't believe. And she started XXXY Athletics instead. Their mission, in their words, empower female athletes and take a stand for fair competition. They call it the T that launched a movement. And Chad, this is real athletic apparel. It's not just a slogan on a shirt. You're going to tell us in a moment about the official apparel for the Nashville Balls, but you can get performance tops, tanks, sports bras, leggings, shorts, training sets, men's and women's, plus hoodies, hats, and their graphic tees. And these are worn by athletes that actually put something on the line, Chad.
Yeah, and this is the crew making the official Nashville Balls gear. Clay Travis's WNBA franchise, XXXY, is the official apparel provider for Nashville Balls merch, tees, trucker hats out now. If you want the shirt, that's where you get it. New customers get 20% off your first order when you sign up and free shipping over $100. XXXYathletics.com. That's XX-XY athletics.com. And Hutton, there's a perfect tie in here to XXXY because Cheryl Reeve, who is the head coach, I believe, of the Minnesota Lynx. Shocking how much I know about the WNBA right now.
You found them on
2
Ion.
years ago, I would have known nothing.
You did find them on Ion once.
I did watch a game on Ion. I never will again, based on the quality of play that I saw that fateful evening when I watched Ion. I would have rather seen a rerun of Arrow than watch that WNBA game that I did. But I was subjected to watching the terrible product that was the WNBA that night. Cheryl Reeve is the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, and she was asked about XXXY merch being seen at games. And the Atlanta Dream, all these freaking nicknames of these teams blend together to me. Storm, Dream, Lynx, all the nicknames without an S at the end, Fever. I get them all confused at times. Anyways,
The Sky
is another great one. The Valkyries.
Mystic.
Anyway, Cheryl Reeve, Minnesota Lynx coach, was asked about XXXY merch because the Atlanta Dream decided to give someone a shirt to cover up when they were wearing that gear at a game. And Cheryl Reeve had this to say.
Games, you guys have been at, this issue around, trans participation in sports continues to follow this league. Do you have any new thoughts on how it continues to be a topic?
I don't want to give them any more oxygen that they deserve. We know, and I've said this before, transgender kids belong. And I think, as we're seeing sort of politically in this country, they found a talking point that people are buying into. And the only thing I ask is that people educate themselves further on these issues and what we're capable of doing when we work on something together. And that something is not used as, simply rhetoric to marginalize a community that does not deserve marginalization.
So Hutton,
totally tone deaf there.
Hutton, let me cook here for a second, if I may.
Yeah,
on this one, okay?
She's missing the point.
She hit on three things here. All right, she's talking about talking points of the right.
Right.
And this has become a big talking point. It certainly has become a big talking point. Many people are profiting off of this, and it is driving a conversation, and it is a big part of the culture wars taking place in this country. But I would argue that a league like the WNBA, which is a subpar, unserious league based on decisions and everything that they do, they need to get themselves in the culture war, right? If you are Coca-Cola, you want to stay far away from a culture war. You want to serve both sides. You want to do everything for everyone. You want to be America in whatever America is. But if you are the WNBA, you want to get involved in a culture war. Why? Because people are going to talk about you, or otherwise they're going to take one look at that game that I saw on Ion with 17 missed layups over a 3-minute span, and they're going to say, this league is not for me. That's point number one. That they need this. But they are unintentionally giving themselves the publicity that they need, because I don't think Cheryl Reeve or anyone else is smart enough, quite frankly, to be doing this intentionally. Now, here are some of the talking points that I caught in that little clip. Transgender kids belong. Boy, that's one we hear all the time, right? When it comes to men playing in women's sports, the response is, well, transgender kids belong. Okay, great. No one's asking to eradicate them. The point is,
Right.
should men be allowed to play in women's sports? And you're not giving your answer to that. You're not saying one way or the other if it's fair, if it's not, if it should be allowed. But the response being transgender kids belong is this slogan to show that somehow you are more understanding and sympathetic and have a bigger heart than everybody else. The next one is educate yourself. Hutton, educate yourself is the catchphrase and tone of someone telling you something that they deep down know to be a simple issue with a simple explanation, but they're trying to overcomplicate it by responding with educate yourself. Well,
Right.
have you educated yourself on this? Have you educated yourself? I don't need to educate myself on men being bigger, stronger, faster than women and having an advantage over them and how that's bad for women's sports. And three, marginalize a community. This is the other catchphrase that she threw in there that shows how she's been indoctrinated into this culture and this way of life of, well, now all they're doing is marginalizing community. What you did not hear in any of that, Hutton, was that Riley Gaines or Clay Travis or anyone else arguing that men shouldn't participate in women's sports is wrong. They're not saying that Enos Cantor, if Enos Cantor or Royce White actually identifies as a woman, should be allowed in there if that's right or wrong for the league. She knows it's wrong for the league if that was to happen because she's not saying it because she wants to put herself in this group over here as opposed to this group over there. And again, it's a league that, quite frankly, with the quality of it, Hutton, needs that publicity. And I know you're someone that would rather not pay attention to the WNBA.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only time I think about the W is whenever we're discussing anything other than basketball. That's it. And I don't tend to pay attention to sports unless I'm thinking about the sport itself. But in this case, they don't need the culture war, Chad, because Bud Light tried this, and it's not like they get attention. Otherwise, it's not otherwise the product's not for me. The product can be for you, and you unintentionally start a culture war, and then the product's not for you. The product's not for me anyway. And now I'm looking at this going, what if I'm listening to this saying, you don't want to give them the voice or give them the jet fuel and play into the what is a stunt for political reasons. What if maybe she hasn't heard the story of swimmers that were told to keep their mouths shut behind the scenes, like Riley Gaines at a national championship meet, and the fact that there were women in a locker room with Leah Thomas that were totally against that happening. There are WNBA players like Sophie Cunningham who don't agree with this. And what we're hearing from a WNBA coach and a league itself is, hey, ladies, shut up. Your opinion doesn't matter here, when it does. And the vast majority of America agrees with this. The fact that they're going to have to answer the question because last I checked, Enos Cantor is still going to declare for the WNBA draft and enter into it. They're going to have to define what a woman is. They're going to have to do this. And when they do that, how do they include the trans community into this unless they're going to allow men into their league? It's not about, you're exactly right. It's not about like everyone has to eradicate this part of the population. No one is saying this. It comes down to the fact that what is just totally true: two genders, male, female, and the fact that you're absolutely going to dominate if a male takes on a female sport. We saw this in boxing in the Olympics. There were women that were Olympians that were choosing not to fight or having to decide whether or not to give up their Olympic dream to then compete. You better believe there are more than just one or two women in the WNBA who are against this. It's the fact that they're being told to pipe down because no one there is willing to talk about it. It's poor, awful leadership, terrible leadership. And we knew this even outside of this topic when they refused to actually use what is a golden goose in Caitlin Clark to take them to the next level. The ratings are massive for the WNBA when it comes to Caitlin Clark. and they refuse to embrace that because they look at it as a political issue.
Well, and I don't think they care about those women. I really don't. Like the first people that are going to tell you how compassionate they are and how all voices matter and how we shouldn't marginalize a community and this and that. If you give them the opposite side of something and you align with someone like an XXXY, the way Sophie Cunningham took a photo with Jennifer Say and XXXY, and once you do that, they really do think less of you as a human being. Like they don't think of her. I mean, watch the foul on Sophie Cunningham. They treat her like she's a piece of meat because they don't believe in her humanity now, because to them, she is the enemy. She stands against everything they stand for and believe in. This is their religion in the WNBA, right? Like the things they're talking about right now with racism and sexism and transgenderism and all the isms, this is their religion. This is their church. This is what they believe above everything else. So if Sophie Cunningham takes a photo with Jennifer Say, suddenly she's anti-religion to them.
Well,
she's less of a person. They don't care about her. That's the sad part in all this to me.
The other part of this that hasn't popped up yet is this is a league that is controlled by the NBA. And you have former NBA players who are declaring for the WNBA draft. This is an issue for the NBA, where you're going to have NBA men dominating based on the fact that you have NBA owners. All these NBA owners are now owners of this league because they're going to build up the WNBA and then sell them off and have a ton of profit. Because they were able to buy in with these franchises for $500 million, and then they're going to sell for a couple billion. That, in fact, it was actually $50 million at the time when they're trying to establish this league. Now they're able to sell off and make a huge profit. In order to do that, you need the fan base. You need Caitlin Clark. They're businessmen. They understand this. And when it becomes a joke because you have former NBA players who are doing this, and right, I'm glad they are, because it actually forces the WNBA to do something based on their law, the bylaw of the draft itself. The NBA itself becomes the joke because you have the men who are in the league, hypothetically, that would go in and dominate what would be an inclusive league. But no one wants to watch this. No one wants to see this, and we don't want to see it in women's sports. They make the whole the case itself. What is an issue right now where you have leagues that are just trying to be so inclusive they have to exclude the gender that the league is about is totally insane to me.
Hutton, we opened this show with a 16-year-old girl mauling a 13-year-old boy on a football field. We let the boy watch. As everyone, no one else even stood in there. No one else even jumped in because this woman just trashed this 13-year-old kid, right?
Let her waltzed off.
On the flip side, we're 28 minutes away from ending this show. As we progress towards the end of the show, we are now talking about a group of grown-ass women in the WNBA who refuse to play 8th grade boys based on Clay Travis's challenge for $10 million. Why do they refuse to do that? Because they know they might get beat. And they know how embarrassing that would be, and they know they have nothing to gain and nothing. Well, they have $10 million to gain, but they know they have nothing to win in the court of public opinion if they can go beat middle schoolers. But they all know, they not even deep down, surface level, they know that men are at an advantage. They know that they can't compete when it comes to on-court things. But if you say it, suddenly you're the enemy.
But also, so if Clay had a team of just transgender players, would they accept the bet? Because they would have to include that, is what I'm saying. If they're going to allow it in the league anyway, then it's fair competition for the Las Vegas Aces, right? That's what they're telling us.
I mean, legitimate. I mean, Clay would have to find, legitimate.
I know, I understand that.
My head's in a pretzel thinking about this because I get people that respond to me that's like people that I really like and respect. They're like, well, if we're really looking at this the proper way, you got to look at the right testosterone level based on their hormone treatment they've received. And I'm just like, penis or not, right? Like born penis or not. That's to
male
me,
or
that's
female, man.
That's the answer to it. Like, no, they can't play. They can play. There can be a transgender league. They can play as a man, right? Like we're not saying that, this whole transgender kids belong. Sure, they should have the ability to go play in a sport based on their gender, not their desired gender. Like that's what Riley Gaines and everyone else is talking about. And by the way, like, yeah, Bud Light did not benefit from the culture wars at all. It got people talking about it, but I don't think it helped their sales. But Bud Light kind of falls in line with the Coca-Cola that I'm talking about. You know, the NBA, the NFL, Hutton, the SEC. The last thing they want to do is see themselves in the culture war because they're already super successful, and we're already going to be talking about those leagues because of the sports and not because of the off stuff, right? We're going to talk about the games, the sport, because it's so successful. The WNBA is a league that needs this to stay relevant because, quite frankly, while some of these women are very good at basketball, the overall product is not appealing to the masses.
But they're not a serious league though, based on this. Like we don't take them long term. They're being discussed right now. But by the way, they're not really being discussed nationally, other than ESPN trying to discuss what's on the court, which no one cares about, right? But we're discussing it. Outkick's discussing it. But across the board, like they're not. They're getting asked questions based on media that are approved by their PR staff to be in the room. That are softball. Like it's not really a legitimate discussion across the country about the league because they're not taken seriously. And now that where they are being discussed is like where Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham come to this, because the ratings. Mark Birds at Sport State put out the top WNBA audiences the last 25 years, and I'm looking down through these. The Indiana Fever. This won't shock you. The Indiana Fever are in all of these except for one. And the only one that's not listed, or two of them, excuse me. No, except for one. The only one that doesn't include the Indiana Fever is the WNBA draft of 2024. That's it, of the top 10. The top WNBA audiences.
Was that the draft where the girlfriend of the one star was drafted? Where Paige Beckers and Ozzie Fudd or whatever? Was that?
Well, that was the 2024.
No, that was Caitlin.
That was Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, that was Caitlin Clark. That's why that was in there.
The top audience was an all-star game that was 3.4 million viewers. The other ones include Chicago and Indiana. Why is that? Well, that was the rivalry, and that's Caitlin Clark, and we're seeing the benefits of the star power. In this case, it's a joke, and it's smart people. You don't have to be smart to understand how much this is just nonsensical. You said your head spinning, mine too, because I just look at it and going like, why would I even give these people attention when they don't want to? They don't really want. They're telling us they don't want us, right? This is like this is your average soccer fan. Chad, you know what I'm talking about. The soccer fans who take it so serious, they don't want us to pay attention to soccer.
No.
Right?
If you don't know the ins and outs of the Venezuelan national team, then you're not good enough for their beautiful game.
I'm using this just as a baseline example, but you know my point. Like it's like get out of our sport. It's like, well, don't you want more attention and more star power and to be relevant? This doesn't make them relevant.
So I posted this, Hutton, in the YouTube chat, which is firing off today. So keep them coming. Who watched the W before Caitlin Clark? Just posed that question. Nathan Holder said, I'm actually enjoying watching the WNBA. Yeah, they're ridiculous, but I do like watching the Fever. Never thought I'd say that. But my Nathan said, I'll be watching Clark versus Beckers tonight. Here's my thing. Like, I watch Caitlin Clark highlights or Sophie Cunningham highlights. I'll see, like, I want to see, like, okay, if she played, Angel Reese when that was a thing. It's not as much of a thing now. I'd want to know what happened in the game. But have they moved the needle in terms of people actually, sitting down, our audience, let's say, right? People who watch a lot of sports, but are you now going to sit down and watch?
I have a good example.
An entire WNBA game. I'm not.
Let me give an example, and I'll use you as an example. How much are you watching women's softball?
I watch a lot.
That's my point. Like,
yeah,
they're doing it the organic, correct, right, and they're playing into the audience, right? They're doing the things that you want to sit down and watch. It's a huge audience right now that's soaring, right? You were telling
even
me.
The Pro League, the AUSL, is getting decent ratings on ESPN when they show the new softball Pro League. It's doing well. And you're right. There's no culture war involved. I mean, that's a good example. There's no big rallying.
There are lesbians in women's softball.
People just watch
they're
it.
just like the WNBA. But
And
it's not like
here's
they're-
what's great about softball. It's an enjoyable sport to watch. It's fast paced. It is like baseball, but it's not. The games are quick. They're an hour and a half long. It's easy to turn on and get into exactly what's going on. Even the softball Little League World Series is getting bigger ratings now.
That's what
Not
you're
bigger than the
telling me.
Little League Baseball
Yeah.
World Series, but you get my point. Like
I do.
they're showing that now on ESPN. That's a good example.
And the leadership aspect. At what point do the WNBA owners, by and large, are NBA owners? At what point do they look at the leadership of the league that they're funding? And again, the profits are up. Caitlin Clark's a big deal with that. It's also with the TV revenue, where the NBA, which also controls the WNBA, has a huge TV audience, TV and media deal, and they gave a bigger portion to the to the W. At what point do they go? We're doing what here? We're growing the value of our business that we're eventually wanting to sell off, but our ownership's doing what? If they're being discussed and being ridiculed and they're a joke, at some point, Chad, you change leadership, and that's what the WNBA needs. They need a change in leadership for sure.
Yeah, and I think the biggest example is Dejanay Carrington and the foul on Sophie Cunningham, and the fact she wasn't suspended for that foul, and then how they just tiptoe around issues because they're afraid of offending the wrong person. No one's afraid of offending Sophie Cunningham if she gets a flagrant 2 ejection-worthy foul against her, but then to not suspend her and then to have her go to the locker room and just post white privilege and then try to argue with us that it had nothing to do with what just happened with her getting ejected from the game, but to not face a suspension. To me, Hutton, that's your example of where the NBA comes in and says, you need to be a serious organization, because Sophie Cunningham is a big driver in eyeballs and a big driver of revenue for this sport. And if we're thinking like a business, if players are going to be allowed to behead her during a game and not be suspended, you are hurting your own product by doing that. The NBA would never allow that.
Now,
And that's where the WNBA, they're missing.
Now, Sophie Cunningham is also benefiting from all of this.
For sure.
In a massive way. Mark Burns from Sports State puts this out. She, over the numbers, her social media accounts, she's added over 1 million on Instagram over the last 30 days. She has 2.6 million followers on Instagram total, over 1 million new ones over the last 30 days. Added over 1 million on TikTok. She has over 3 million followers now on TikTok, and added over 80,000 on Facebook over a 30-day period. Just saying, like, that's the audience that are following these two stars. And in the NBA, Chad, we know the players control the team. The players are the coach. If Sophie and Caitlin wanted Stephanie White gone, wouldn't she be gone?
I mean, you would think. But again, I think that every decision that's made, Hutton, is made with this: who are we going to offend by this? Could they cry? Sexism, racism, homophobia.
Yeah, Stephanie White may tell us to go to hell.
Yeah, and Stephanie White might say that they don't like me because I'm a lesbian, or they don't like me because I protect marginalized communities.
They don't like me, but they hired me.
Right. Again, it's stupid. Like, what you're saying is the proper response.
I know.
To anybody who says that. My point is, they actually fear the offense taken by someone that they shouldn't care about in terms of being offended when it comes to actual decisions that need to be made.
Chad, I have a question coming up, or two coming up for us. Number one, rock bands. One involves a rock band. And maybe I want to know if it's the last. This is great for the chat. I want to get the chat's reaction to. Is this the last rock band that we see? And we're going to speak some things into existence. That's straight ahead here on Hutton Withrow. It is the all-new sportandstate.com. This is Hutton and Withrow. He's Chad Withrow. I'm Jonathan Hutton. Glad you're with us each morning right here at Sport and State and on YouTube at Hutton and Withrow is our channel. We hope you'll subscribe. If you're there in the chat, hope you'll continue to join us each and every morning. Good to have some day one season ticket holders from our day one, which was, Chad, 15 years ago? Coming up on that anyway with Midday 180. We're continuing here, and yeah, we're glad to have some very familiar names with us in the chat from day one here at Sport and State. You can join us for the best discussion of the morning, and then all day long with Clay and Buck. Their show is going to be streaming live on sportandstate.com, as will Next Round Live. I watched the show, caught Clay's visit with them yesterday. Really cool. Chad, I don't know, they're having a celebration partnership party next week down in Birmingham. Are we going to that? I don't know. Like they're having a big toast. We need to get there. We need to get to Bama.
It's the first time hearing of it, so I'm assuming we're not going because we're not invited. Is what it sounds like to me. Those guys do a great job on Next Round Live, and I did like them ask the question to Clay because they were getting questions about how their show is going to change under Clay's guidance and leadership, and Clay gave a great answer about, I mean, I'm going to handle the politics. Clay said, you guys are going to be you. And that's what Clay told us when he hired us too.
Be authentic.
So that was thrilling to hear because Hutton, we've worked at plenty of jobs where plenty of people try to tell us what to say, how to act, what to do. And that is not happening here, which is awesome. Yeah, and we do think our day one season ticket holders that are viewing right now in the YouTube chat, all of that. We keep getting questions about podcasts. That's going to be a reality at some point. It's going to happen. We are working to build something. This is the planning season. We're not to the harvest season yet. Talked about it yesterday. In that planning season, we are building a YouTube channel. We are building a YouTube show. So thank you for those that in the first 2 days of the show that have gone to YouTube to seek us out, to watch us, to plug into their car and listen through YouTube. If you're doing that also, everybody in the chat, you have no idea how valuable that is to the show, that we can see live interaction of what you're thinking, what you're doing. I can bounce questions off you, ideas off of you. You can bounce them back off of me. I can take that to the show. Please continue to do all these things as we continue to grow and build. We appreciate you.
26,000 followers now for Sport in State. Sport in the capital N State on X right now. So continue. If you're not following Sport in State on social, do so for an account that was just created yesterday. Also on Tilt is on socials as well. They're coming up later this afternoon with Kelly, Ariel, and Joe. On Tilt is at On Tilt Show on social. So give them a follow while you're there, and you can follow their YouTube channel there as well. Yeah, you and I mean, we've always had in some ways a social team or a producer that has handled like the mechanism of what the broadcast is, right? So like I'm learning YouTube while this makes me feel old, right? Like this is like, I don't know the social game the way that Brooks knows the social media game. Is crushing it. We're doing this too as we go. So the harvest season for us will probably happen at the same time with all the benefits that come with knowing the social game.
We talked about people we've hired. Brooks Carter, who also does social media for the Next Round Live in Birmingham. This dude just painted the damn Mona Lisa of graphics based off of our show that's posted to Sport and State. Go to Sport and State right now. If you're not following, follow right now. But look at the graphic just based on listening to our show. Okay. He posted with our jerseys side by side. I mean, it is unbelievable. Home versus home uniform matchups. We'd love to see.
Well done.
College versus NFL. And it's posted at Sport and State right now. I say all that to say that we gave a lot of thank yous earlier to a great team we have with us.
That's great, man.
Brooks is awesome. Let me also say this. Like, I have been places and we have done things, Hutton, and I don't want every day to turn into a bitch fest for me, but sometimes I just get irritated.
We need to speak
but this. Let me bitch a little bit.
We need to say this.
Let me bitch a little bit to also thank our team now. Like, we've been places and done things where it feels like people are against you. And it feels like people don't want you to succeed that you work with, or it feels like someone like wants your job, so they're going to try to intentionally make you look dumb.
Or
bad.
I would say this way: if it's not that, they're not invested. It's just it's a 2-hour deal where they get through the show and they go home because we're the last show, right? Like Totally am with you on what you're saying.
Well, let me finish on that because I'm gonna do plenty to make myself look dumb and bad. I don't need help with it.
Same here.
A, so please don't help me look worse or look dumb or bad. I don't need the help. And B, to be a part of a team that feels like everyone actually is in it to win it is so refreshing. And that's what I feel like. Like just working with Brooks the last 2 days on social media, I'm pointing him out right now because the graphic's so good. It feels like it's sport and state. I am reinvigorated because I feel like I'm on a team where we're all pushing the same direction and everybody wants everyone to look good. I That's amazing. It's an amazing spot to be in. It's not one person hoarding the ball. It's not one person trying to, show how smart they are, any of that. Everybody's good at what they do. Everybody does good work. Everybody works hard. Everybody is doing their part. And because of that, I really am enthused about our goals for this show, Hutton, where this show and where this company could take off and go. Kelly in Vegas is in the chat today,
Kelly
being active with the show. We appreciate that. It's just things like that that really get me energized.
If Kelly's listening, Kelly, am I allowed to get out the Maxim magazine at some point for the show? I'm just curious. Hey, let me interject and then go back to this topic. I want to say this because I want the chat to go over the final 6 minutes here of the show. Are the Foo Fighters our last rock band? Our last true rock band? I want opinions on this. They were in Nashville earlier this week, and I'm hearing, I didn't get to go to the show. I didn't go. But they, sell out Nissan Stadium, and everyone is singing, Hero and all this stuff. And I'm thinking like, I miss this type of music. This reminds me the nostalgia of the rivalry uniforms. Same thing when it comes to music for me. Foo Fighters get it done in that respect. Are they the last rock band that we've got right now across the music touring artists? I want a discussion on that. And Chad, let's answer it at the very end of the show. But let's go back to this. We do need to speak some things into existence. Come November, we're going to be on the red carpet for the CMA Awards. We need to say that. We've said that for how many years now? And we're right down the street from the red carpet where it would be so simple for me, you, and Clay to be in tuxes, to have a sponsor, and to talk college football with country music artists who want to talk college football. Let's do that. Let's just say we're doing it and speak it into existence. Why not?
We've been talking about it way too long. We need to make this happen. Jacob Lutz chiming in saying
exactly. We know a guy too. His name's Lutz.
Yeah, Lutz, by the way, knows freaking everybody. Being in Tampa with him at SEC kickoff, like it's incredible the amount of people that go up to him. So I think in his previous job, he probably met some country music people that could help us out.
I knew a girl. I went to high school with one of the women who was a part of the media relations team, and we were still denied. I think that was also an inside job.
I mean, that's incredible. My former next door neighbor worked for CMA also. She has since moved to Lexington, Kentucky, her and her husband and their children. But I mean, I think getting the access was not going to be a problem. I think it's just putting it into action. Again, the difference between working with people that you feel like are all on the same team and working with a bunch of split allegiances. We're on people that are all on the same team now.
Yes. And here's the other thing that's very...
I say that, and Mark's probably over there like plotting my death as we speak. He's got his Billy Madison people to kill list right now, and he's putting
our Connor
in
Stallions.
Big bold print. Chad.
He's going back to the other team. He's Connor Stallion scouting us out right now.
Yeah, I got this son of a bitch right where I want him. I've got him thinking that I'm a good guy. Here we go.
I want to say this too, like it's also freeing because we're not bound by what felt like we were just recording a show and going line by line based on whatever was next up, and people got pissed off if we didn't hit the next element, right? There is you and I enjoy being live, number one. And number two, just having a discussion instead of a show, right? We're going to talk like we're at the bar hanging out and being able to do things that we normally, that you don't do if you're on a scripted cable television show, right? Like PTI is going to have the rundown and they're going to go by the run. If we have a rundown, we're going to hit those things, but you and I are going to be off script if we want to be. Because we can, because what Clay told us. So I love that.
It's good to have a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right? And then no one really has a plan in a boxing match and get punched in the mouth. I think it's very good to have a plan for every show. We're going to have a plan for the shows, but we're going to go where it goes. I think that's a key to this show and any
Absolutely.
successful one is, if we start going down a WNBA path and it takes us 30 minutes, it might take us 30 minutes and we
Well-
may have to extend into different segments and do different things. And
yes.
that's what we're going to do.
But I also like we'll have primary complaint at some point. We'll have that going. But where we are in the day part now, we're going to have some news that's going to be fun to react to. And you and I are building out our home studios. You've got the screen there. I got to get some screens in here to keep up with what all could be going on at any moment instead of us discussing last night's news. I'm just speaking that because it's just hitting me that I haven't checked the news in 30 minutes because we haven't.
But it's also that's what's amazing about being on in the mornings is this is our first opportunity, Hutton, to be the first.
Exactly.
We're going to be the first to react to last night's news or what happened last night in games. Whereas before, it always felt like you're kind of responding to the response of other shows and other people reacting to it.
Yeah.
And there is going to be news as break. I tell you what's going on my TV screen right now, but I haven't turned it back on yet since the power outage in my home. So I'll do that right now, Hutton. And if anything's happening, I'll tell you.
If you could tell me what they're saying in the chat, did anyone respond to the Foo Fighters? We can get to this tomorrow if we want.
Yeah, quickly for tomorrow, Hutton. The biggest response, Metallica, is the one response that said still tours the possible other last remaining rock band.
Okay. All right.
It's fair. I'll take it. I'll take that
Metallica
response.
and the Foo Fighters, and then we get into some weird ones to me. I'm sure there's more, but I can't think of it right now. Chad, fun show today. Show 2, successful. You made it through the lightning and the power flash. We all did. Crew's amazing. Be sure to check out Next Round Live, Clay and Buck, Clay Travis Show, and of course On Tilt with Kelly, Ariel, and Joe. For Withrow, I'm Hutton and Withrow here at Sport and State. Catch us tomorrow morning.